Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
Well, Sean, we're one game in, and we both won our. We would have won if we took the line. But I think it's one of the few bets I've won. I'm in such a cold streak that I think it's the worst. I look back, it's the worst streak I've been in like 2.5, 3 years. Where, and it's crazy about it too is I have the lead in a lot of these things only to lose them late, which is driving me bananas. I have to say that I have hockey bets. Tell me not to do it. Well, this is a football show, Drew. What about football bets? What do you got for football bets? We're going to talk about those today. NFL Week 13, which is hard to believe, Sean, that NFL, it's the unlucky week. So maybe everything we do like, we should play the opposite side of because it's Week 13.
Yeah, well, as soon as we do that, it'd go the other way, for sure.
But that would be the opposite of the opposite. So therefore, it would be the opposite.
Yeah, you really do always wonder if that would actually work, but you got to mentally train yourself to actually do that and not psych yourself out that you're still on the wrong side.
So do you think the Taysom Hill experience is over already, or what?
Well, he's going to stick to what he does, run, tight end, that kind of stuff. Yeah, but he obviously, and I've tried to give this guy a chance. I'm thinking he.
Glad to hear that.
Well, no, I'm just saying. Every time he's in, you think, okay, he can run, he can do this, he can do that. I know
he can't throw.
I know, and it didn't help that his finger got banged up yesterday. And
okay, what is a quarterback's primary job? Okay, he's got. All right, throwing the ball is not his primary job. The quarterback's primary job is to make sure his team is set right before the snap. Right. He wants to take the Colts against the spread, but the NFL is weird. It is weird. But his primary job is to set the offense up for success, right? To make all the pre-snap calls. After that, everything's on him to determine where the ball goes. Once he's determined where the ball goes, though, he's got to make a good throw, right?
Yeah.
And if you can't throw the ball, if you do A and B right, what difference does C make?
And you know what? The experience ain't over because they locked him in, so they have him. They just, like I said, they'll have to use him for the other stuff.
Maybe what they ought to do, instead of using Ingram as running back, put his ass back there at running back.
Yeah.
Right?
He wouldn't mind it. I mean, the guy loves contact, so he'll do whatever he has to do.
But, I'm watching. It's Taysom Hill, right? Taysom Hill left. Eventually, go ahead. Keep running the ball 4 yards at a time. We don't care. And you know what I hate, Sean? Really, what I really hate? I hate being right and wrong at the same time. What did I say yesterday? I said, if the Saints get to 20, the game goes over. They got to 17. And too bad the Cowboys couldn't turn some of those.
Well, I'll tell you what.
All those interceptions, but I got a new nickname for Dak. I told you yesterday, right?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I mean, he's got all his weapons back. He made some awful throws yesterday, too. I mean.
What do you guys think about this new nickname? So we should all go out and get Dallas jerseys number 4. And the nickname is Inaccurate.
Yeah.
That's pretty good, no?
Yes.
Have you heard that anywhere else?
I don't think so. So, I was impressed when you texted me that yesterday. And I'm surprised that hasn't.
It's mine. Mine. Don't steal.
I'm surprised that nobody else has come up with that, especially after last night. My God.
That was pretty good, though. Inaccurate, right? I like that one. That was a pretty good one. I'm gonna get a jersey with number 4 on there that says Inaccurate, and then I'm gonna see if I can get him to sign it. But I always praise the guy for all the locker room stuff. I mean, he's a leader, right? Across the board, no question about it.
Yeah.
Seems like he can get his teammates to run through a wall, and sometimes they have to catch the pass.
Yeah, and what were they doing? Play calling too. You could see the Saints offense wasn't doing anything, and you're still throwing the ball with 8 minutes left in the game. That's the kind of stuff that will get them in trouble.
Well, the funny thing is not only that, but the Saints are down, and what are they doing? They're doing the exact opposite. They're running the ball. Exactly. One team needed to be throwing the ball, and they couldn't do it, and the other team needed to be running the ball, and they couldn't do it. So, well, I mean, Tony Pollard can do it. I think
he had one really good run, and that was that.
But the NFL is a game of big plays, Sean. That's what I think a lot of people fail to understand. That so both teams are very close, right? So all these NFL games are won. They're not won in the middle, so in the bell curve, right, where 60% of the stuff happens. Both teams are the same inside that bell curve. It's on the extremities that the NFL games are won. So a play like Tony Pollard made on that sweep, broke that tackle there and ran it down for a touchdown. That's on the extreme, on the right extreme, right, of the right extreme of being good. Those are the plays that make the difference in the NFL games. And on the other side of that, and the left-hand side of the bell curve is the bad. And that was Taysom Hill with his 4 interceptions yesterday, right? 1 return for a touchdown. So on one end, the interception is on the left hand of the curve, but on the other hand, it's on the right hand of the curve. And when they bring it back for a touchdown, it's all the way out on the right hand. Those NFL games are won on those extremities, man. That's where they're won, by the big plays, right? So that's, to me, that's what I'm looking for if I'm an NFL scout. I'm looking for players who make those plays on the edge. Yeah. And the fact is, Zeke can't make those edge plays anymore. He can make all the plays in between, like the 60% on the bell curve, right? But he can fumble the ball. Anybody can do that. But he can't make those 60-yard runs anymore.
Yeah, and I guess the question in the last couple of years, I think people have been asking, can Tony Pollard be a starting running back? Or is he what he is? Because I honestly think Dallas might be better with just Pollard as the full-time running back.
I think in 2021, the way the league is set up now, where everything is the passing dominant, not running dominant. So you pass to set up the run. Whereas when I was growing up, it's Franco Harris, Rocky Blyer, Tony Dorsett, Larry Zonka. You kind of look like Larry Zonka.
What?
You know who Larry Zonka is?
I've heard the name. Yep.
Yes. Well, but in any case, that's back in the day where they ran to set up the pass. That's all changed now. So I don't think if Tony Pollard can block, then I don't know that he can't handle a full workload as the NFL running back because you can get him
also
essentially runs with those little 5-yard dump passes.
A full workload anymore is 15 to 17 carries. Right, it's not 25 to 30. So yeah.
And then you get a backup running back that you use for those like concussion plays.
Yeah, the more powerful. Yeah. I think he last couple of years, the way he's played, he deserves a shot like that.
A lot of people think he's going to get paid in the offseason, but he doesn't. He's got one more year next year, and then the year after that is when he's going to get a chance. So if the Cowboys are going to lock him down, you're going to find out. I said before the season started, they should have traded Dak. They should have traded Amari Cooper. Should have brought in Trubisky and Allen Robinson to go with CeeDee Lamb, and then traded Zeke, and then went with Tony Pollard and used all that extra money to shore up the offensive line and to make the defense even more badass. All right, Sean, let's talk about the rest of the games this weekend. We'll start with the first game on the board. Sean, the Minnesota Vikings are traveling to Detroit. Detroit having a little bit of time off, essentially a bye, right? I mean, they played Thanksgiving game, and now they have a full 10 days off. The question is, you could probably give them a month off to prepare. Do you think they have a chance to win?
No, their best offensive player, DeAndre Swift, is out. So, I mean, now they're even that much worse offensively.
Well, that makes Jamal Williams a really legitimate player for daily fantasy.
Possibly, but you got to think of how many chances is he going to have
the ball too. So, I mean, he'll get 20 touches, and if he gets 20 touches, anything can happen.
Yeah, it's a matter of will he be able to get a touchdown. I just, how much will their offense put him in that position? Dalvin Cook will be out for Minnesota. But
another guy there, Madison, who should have a good game. This game opened up at 6.5, Sean. It's moved up a full point.
Yeah, I'm gonna jump on that bandwagon and take Minnesota. I just don't see Detroit scoring, and Minnesota's gonna put up points. They always put up points. So I don't like giving up this total, but a lot of games this week are about this spread. So.
Well, Minnesota to me is the quintessential team that plays to the level of the talent of the team that they're playing. When they play a good team, they play good, but not good enough to beat them. When they play a bad team, they play good, but enough to barely beat them. And that's exactly what I have happening here. I do have Minnesota winning this game by about 9 points, Sean. So I think they are going to cover, but that's not a big enough number for me to go ahead and play the Vikings. Yeah. As far as the total is concerned, you're going to get minus 110 on that 7.5, right? Because that's what every NFL game is. The total is 46.5. Sean, where do you have that game coming in?
Probably. See, this is one I do the whole. If you're gonna bet, I would stay away. But if you're gonna bet, I'd take Minnesota over, take Detroit under. I don't see. I wouldn't do the game because I just, like I said, I don't see Detroit scoring much.
I have this game going over, almost by enough to make a bet, but not. I'm going to be really strict because, like I said, right off now, I'm in a very cold spot. So I don't want to I'm cold. So let's go ahead and throw 20 out there and hope I hit all 20 to make up for what I just lost, because that never works like that. So I need one more. I need this line to come down 1 point, one more half of a point to 46 for me to go ahead and make this an official over. But for right now, I'm going to stick on just barely not playing. No, this is such a heavy lean, Sean, that I would probably fall over with just a little bit of a tip.
Yeah, and it might come down a half a point.
It might, yeah. I mean, it stopped. It was at 46.5, went up to 47. It's come back down to 46.5. So that's a positive thing. As far as the bets are concerned, Sean, you have 2/3 of the tickets on the Minnesota Vikings. Ooh. And then 92 cents on the dollar. Most of the people, Sean, are taking the under, and most of the money is on the under. So I would be betting against the wise guys if I went ahead and took the over in that game. Arizona and Chicago, another one of those games, Sean. This one opened up at -8 and seems to be moving a little bit in Chicago's favor. It's kind of hard to understand because Kyle Murray's going to be back, from what I understand, and there's probably a better than 50-50 shot that he'll have his compadre, Mr. Hopkins, back, which should make them more potent on offense.
It should, but I don't know if I trust it, because last I saw it was still a game time decision, even if they're saying that. And with these game time decisions, a lot of times they'll hold them out.
Well, let me ask you a question. If they come back, right, if they're both on the field, so if you think that line's going to be 7.5?
Ooh, it might be 8.5, 9 if that's the case.
So from what I've read, they're coming back. I've read that it's absolute. They're both. I've read it's absolute. Kyle Murray is going to be back. It's not absolute that DeAndre Hopkins is going to be back. But I think with or without Hopkins, just the putting. Kyle Murray versus Colt McCoy. Come on.
Yeah, I know. And Dalton's going again for the Bears. This is one I didn't trust either.
I would rather have, honestly, I would rather have Justin Fields in there if I'm betting the Cardinals.
Yeah, if you're betting the, well, I don't know. I'd rather have Fields because you have the more up and coming energy, and he shows flashes. So
he also makes a ton of mistakes.
Yeah, I understand.
Dalton's not going to make the same mistakes. He knows what. He at least knows what he's seeing, that I don't feel like Justin Fields has a full understanding of what he sees in front of him yet.
I'm going to pass on the game, but I would not give up over a touchdown with Arizona on the road right now. Even if Murray does come back, he's been off for a few weeks. There's going to be some rust there.
Live legs, baby.
Live legs, but a little rust throwing. So
he's an NFL quarterback. There won't be no rust throwing.
It's a no play for me.
I'm going to take the Cardinals, Sean. I'm going to do it because the Bears have absolutely no offense. Did you not watch those Thanksgiving Day games?
I did, but sometimes you can throw those Thanksgiving day games out too, because it's just a total different animal.
Have you not watched all the other Bears games when they did it on Thanksgiving?
Yes, I know. Yes, I have.
They are awful on offense, Sean. Awful.
They are. Their defense is not bad, though.
But their defense is not good either anymore. I mean, you got Khalil Mack's out for the year, selling his house up here for $6 million after he paid like $2 million for it. So, yeah, good. Congratulations on that, Khalil. I'm taking the Cardinals. I have a feeling that you're going to see when it is official that Kyle Murray comes in, that number is going to bump back up to 8, 8.5, maybe 9. And if DeAndre Hopkins gets listed as in, that number is going to probably come close to double digits, at least if not briefly. So I have a feeling at 7.5 is about as low as this number is going to go. It's only going to go in the other direction. So I'm taking Arizona. The total in this game, Sean, is 42.5, 43, which seems like a low number for an Arizona offense that could put up 30 on the Bears, especially if Murray plays.
It does.
So are they saying the Bears aren't going to score?
Yeah, maybe. That's why, I would lean the over, but with the Bears offense, and also, like I said, if Murray does come back, it's going to be a little rusty. Plus, Arizona's offense is still good on the road, but not as good as it is at home. So I'm going to pass on this total as well.
You're going to pass on this total. Unfortunately, I have Atlanta in there instead of Arizona. So hold on one second here. I have this game coming in at 43. Arizona winning by 10 points, Sean, and the at 26-17. Actually 27-16. So I'm it's not enough for me to go over. It's essentially a stupid soccer tie because over here it's actually 43. So I can't bet stupid soccer ties, and I certainly don't like to double dip. So double dipping on stupid soccer ties has to be really dumb.
Yeah. And you're right there with the total too. Arizona's team total is 26. So
yeah,
you're right there.
Over that.
Yeah.
So as far as the game is concerned, Sean, I must be brilliant because 3/4 of the tickets are on the Cardinals, but almost 100% of the money, 98 cents on the dollar. And the last time we saw a number like that, Sean, you went ahead and took it and you made some money. So hopefully I get the same sort of luck that you did. As far as the total is concerned, Sean, a little bit more than half of the tickets are on the over, but almost 97 cents on the dollar is on the over as well. So there's a big money bet in the Cardinals, big money backing the over. It looks to me like the folks with deep pockets have been notified. Kyle Murray will be back.
We'll see. Those game time decisions are always scary.
No, he's going to be back. You want to put a bet on that? Is there like a line on that?
No.
How about this? If he comes back, that I get to keep all of my wins and all of your wins, and you get my losses and your losses. And if he doesn't come back, then I get all your losses and you get all my wins.
No.
Okay.
No. Nice try.
Tampa Bay versus Atlanta. Didn't Tampa Bay lose to Atlanta earlier? I don't know. I feel like they lost, but they haven't played.
No, I thought they did play. They did. It was a shootout. Yeah, Atlanta came back. And
that's right. Yes,
yeah,
yes.
It was just, I don't know. I think Tampa was in the 40s. Atlanta's was in the 30s. You have to.
Years in Atlanta, in Hotlanta, are laying 10.5. So on that number was opening up at minus 11.5. So it looks like the money is backing Matt Ice Ryan. He's doing commercials now with Ice-T and Stone Cold Steve Austin. So hell, he's got to be close to retirement.
Yeah, he better.
Nobody knows. I mean, nobody under probably what? Maybe everybody under 40 knows. Maybe some under 40 know Ice-T. Some under 40 know Stone Cold Steve Austin. But I'm probably not. 30-year-olds are like, what are these boomers talking about? I'm not even a boomer. I'm an Xer. What about you? You're a millennial. Oh,
I'm 36, and I know who those guys are. So
anyway, Tampa Bay and Atlanta.
You have to lean Tampa Bay, but I'm not giving up 10.5 points on the road here, especially like we said, Atlanta did battle them earlier this year, and they put up a lot of points against them too. I don't really see that happening again, but Tampa really hasn't been blowing people out. So I'm not giving up these kind of points.
Well, I don't think Brady's going to do like he did against Indianapolis. I do have Tampa Bay covering. I have them winning, Sean, by probably 12 points, maybe up to 13 points. Not enough for me to make a play at all. But still, if one of these days we're going to have a week where we just have to play every game. And then this is not that week. But if that was this week, I would definitely take Tampa Bay. The total here is opened up at 49.5. Sean, it's moved up a point to 50.5. What do you say?
Yeah, I would lean you over. Not enough confidence in Atlanta's offense to do it, but that's where I would go.
I'm leaning you over on here. What's the total on Tampa Bay, Sean? I feel like Tampa Bay over might be a good play.
Get that to you.
What is their number? So they're favored by 10. It's 41. So their total is 32.5. Is that right?
30.5.
That's too high. I think. I mean, you just won this field goal away from not winning that one. Even though I think it's probably a pretty good shot. I would probably, if I were going to play the over in this game, I would probably play over for the Buccaneers, over 30.5. But that's a ton of points. A couple of touchdown drives that turn into field goals, and you're dead. What's
funny is I'm saying about Atlanta's offense, but now I looked at Atlanta's total and it's 19.5, and I'm like, they should be able to come up with that against Tampa's defense.
I have them scoring 19.5 points exactly.
I think you're running the same thing they're running.
Or they're just, I always see like my mouse and stuff moving around when I'm not doing it. I wonder what the hell those books in Vegas are doing. Now I know why they're making it difficult for me to win, because they know what I'm going to do before I do it.
There you go.
There you go. So as far as the totals are concerned in this spot, Sean, so the Buccaneers at minus 10.5 are taking a little bit more than half of the tickets, but it's flipped around a little bit more than half of the money is on the Falcons against the number. As far as the total is concerned, well, 60% of the tickets agree with me. So I'm part of the asses that belong in the masses. But the so-called smart money, huge numbers, Sean, on the under. One of the biggest discrepancies of the weekend between the public and the money, as over 80 cents on the dollar is on the under as of right now. So looks to me like the so-called wise guys got the word that the Falcons aren't even going to get to 19.5. And like I said, a couple of those drives are going to end up in field goals for the Buccaneers. The Colts coming off a disappointing loss where they saw the tale of two Carson Wentz's. In the first half, he was an MVP candidate. I was going to come on and say, wow, about that. Carson Wentz outplays Tom Brady and ends up thrusting himself into a potential MVP candidate status. And then he turns around and has 3 turnovers in the second half. It cost his team a victory that they needed. Sean, what is he going to do this week against Houston?
I think he'll probably go back to the MVP candidate here. I don't see Houston really stopping Jonathan Taylor or Carson Wentz, so I'm going to give up to 10 here.
Yeah,
I think they're going to rebound. I just hope he doesn't turn the ball over and Frank Wright calls it a little bit better.
You know he's going to turn the ball over.
Well, he might not have to because they could run Taylor here, play action. He shouldn't have to against Houston. They're not going to get behind. They should play ahead this whole game. I'll give up 10.
Downgrades, I think, his fantasy football status, though, even though Houston has one of the worst pass defenses.
That's with a lot of games this week. I think that's going to be the factor. You got to figure out what games are going to remain close because if these get out of hand, your fantasy numbers stop right there.
Mm-hmm. I got to say, Sean, I can't believe it, but and this is probably bad news for you the way things are going for me. I have the Colts winning this game by over 13 points, almost by 14. So by my measures, it's a take, Sean. So I am going to jinx you, and I'm going to also take the Indianapolis Colts. So that means, folks, unless Drew, and we went 0 for 2 last night with Drew, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, that didn't work any. Drew, are you going to join us on this one so we can get back to 500? In any case, I'm going to go with you, Sean. I'm taking the Colts. I think they win this. I think they're PO'd after winning a game, losing a game that they should have won last week, and they're going to come out and they're going to. I think. Here's what I think. I think they'll be covering sometime by the middle of the second quarter, and the question is, when do they take their foot off the gas pedal? And I'm afraid of the backdoor cover. Well, I have no doubt.
I will say this. Frank Wright is not a guy who usually takes his foot off the pedal. So in that aspect, I mean, you could see last week, he shouldn't have. He cost himself the game in that second half drive where they came out and they threw it 8-9 times in a row and they were up 10. They just could have methodically went down the field, get a touchdown. That game could have been almost over. But I don't see him taking his foot off the gas, not the way he calls plays.
Well, 44.5. If you don't think he's going to take his foot off the gas, Sean, I can see the Colts getting into the 30s. What do you think?
Possibly, but this would be another one then. If you're going to do that, I would take Indies over because that's where you're going to get the offense. Unless you trust Tyrod Taylor.
So what is the Colts total in here? Because the total is 44.5. I have them coming in at 51. So 44.5 divided by 2 is 22.25 plus 5. So their total is 27.5. Is that right?
Wow. Bingo.
Yeah, look at that. I'm not bad at math. I'm better at math than Sean is at keyboards. I have them coming in a full 7 points above that, Sean. So, I don't like to double dip, but you know what? Bleep it. I'm double dipping, Sean. I think the Colts are good for over 30 points. I'm going to double dip, and I'm going to take the Colts and the Colts going over. So now, I just screwed me, you, and Drew.
Yeah, I'm not.
Sounds like a movie. Screw me, you, and Drew.
Sorry, Drew, you had to be a part of that. I'm not going to bet anything else with this game because you're all over it. So time to run.
Well, turn. Now it's your turn to throw crap at me, right?
Yeah.
So you're the monkey in the cage, and I am the spectator.
Yeah.
All right. So as far as the money is concerned, Sean, everybody's backing the Colts. Almost, like 85% of the tickets are on the Colts, and almost 100% of the money is on the Colts. As far as the total is concerned, a little bit more than half of the money is on the under, but half of the tickets are on the under, but 3/4 of the money is on the under. So maybe they expect the Texans not to score anything because I just told you the Colts are going over 30. That's for sure. At least that's what I'm hoping. There's nothing for sure. My for sure just jinxed us all for sure. For sure. The Eagles, boy, they had a great game last time out against the other New York team. Can they score more than 7 against this New York team, Sean?
Yeah, of course they can. I know Hurts is questionable with illness. I would imagine he plays. Even if he doesn't, they're
got a lot of points. I mean, the people who have the Eagles wide receivers might be happy if you don't play.
Yeah, but you know what? He's one of those. He plays great one week, plays awful the next week. So this is his week to start looking.
This is his great week.
Yeah, this should be his great week. But and the Jets defense is probably going to help. Sickness. Yeah, the great Jets defense will help out with that. Eagles probably win. I'm not going to touch the game though. I'll stay away from my team this time. I'll follow my rules.
Oh yes. Well, you don't have any rules, Sean. You don't have any loyalties. You don't have any rules. You have nothing.
I have loyalties. I've been a Jets fan since like age 5. That's got to be loyalty right there.
So I have the game. I have the Jets. I have the Eagles winning by 6. So I can't go ahead and take the Jets under any circumstances, even though it says the Jets are going to cover. How can I say I can't take the Jets under any circumstances? I just took them last week and won. So I could take them under winning circumstances. Sean, how about that?
You just like taking them when I go against them.
Yeah, then I know they're going to win. So 45 is the total in this game, Sean. Boy, the way that number seems like maybe about 39 points too much.
Oh, wow. I don't know.
Well, after those offenses last week, I mean, they couldn't combine for 20 points last week.
Yeah, but like I said, Eagles will figure it out, especially if Hurts does play. Jets defense is not very good right now. And Zach Wilson will move the ball or turn the ball over, so there'll be some points. But I think it's set pretty good. It could go either way here.
I actually have the game going slightly over. So I have them scoring 46 points instead of 44 and a half. I can't bet that. That's not enough margin for me. But still, if you're on that game because you're a Jets fan or you're Eagles fan, I feel sorry for you. I can see Taylor having a game of his life too. But if you're a Jets fan or an Eagles fan like Sean, I feel sorry for you. Let's see. As far as the numbers are concerned, most of the tickets, about 2/3 are on the Eagles, the EAGLES, but more than 90 cents on the buck is on the Eagles. As far as the total is concerned, Sean, 60% of the tickets are on the under. 99% of the money, Sean, somebody bet $1 on the under. Everybody else bet the over. So it looks like smart money is going to be on the over there, Sean. Chargers in Cincinnati. So you got 2 young, exciting quarterbacks. One that's directing his team in the right direction right now, and one that's, he's got to right the ship. And it seems to me, too, that the one that's got to right the ship might have a little bit, I don't know. They both have good weapons, comparable weapons. Which one do you like here, Sean? Do you feel like Cincinnati being a favorite by 3 is too many, too little, just about right?
It's too little. Cincinnati rolls in this game. We need a segment where my lock or my love. This is the game that I'm putting a jinx on. I absolutely love Cincinnati giving up 3 here. They're the better team. They're the team playing better. The Chargers are they're talented, but
load up.
I'm surprised on this line, especially after the way these 2 teams played last week. I could see this line a few weeks ago and it'd be like this. But after what these teams did last week, I mean, these teams are going in opposite directions here.
Yeah, so, but it's the NFL any given Sunday, Sean. You don't
to say on a neutral field. Yeah, I know. But to say on a neutral field, this is a 50-50 game, I don't agree with that.
You don't agree with that at all? Let me see.
No.
I have the Bengals covering, but only by 0.5 point. So I have them winning by 3.5 points so far. So I figure by about 4 is about right. So 24-20. Does that sound about a score? I mean, I know you'd be happy with that score, but that's not big enough for me to go ahead and take that. As far as the total is concerned, Sean, they think they're going to combine for 49.5 points, one of the highest totals on the weekend. I think there's only one game that's higher. Yes, that's Tampa Bay and Atlanta. Everybody else is under that. So this is supposed to be the second highest scoring affair on Sunday.
I'm just concerned about that Chargers offense. We've talked about this week in and week out. They'll move it up and down, but then they struggle to get in the end zone. And then there's some weeks they don't even move it up and down. And they've been struggling of late. So I would stay away from that.
I'm going to bet the over in this game, Sean, at 49.5. I feel like both teams are going to score points because Cincinnati defense lets up points, and the Chargers are due for a famous statement game from Sean. So I feel like you're going to see points. I can see one or both teams in the 30s, to be honest with you.
Ooh.
And if one team gets into the 30s, I think the other is going to be in both teams. I expect both teams to be at least in the mid 20s. I can see 24-24 at the end of regulation, and then a field goal puts me over, and I feel like $1 million for predicting the game 100% correctly. Not only did I bet on the right side, but I told you it was going to be 24-24 at the end, which will never happen. I
will say a lot of people like putting these touchdown parlays together. I would put Joe Mixon on that. Joe Mixon will at least have one touchdown on Sunday.
You think? I can see Justin Herbert running one in too. 3 points favorite, Sean, 41% of the tickets. Well, 60% of the tickets are on the Bengals, Sean, but 87% of the money. I just made an ass out of myself because the majority of the tickets, 2/3, are on the over, but 60 cents on the dollar is on the under. I'm on the wrong side of that bet, according to the money, Sean, but that'll flip after the show. It's already moving down. It's gone down to 59 cents since I made my call. So somebody out there heard what I had to say and put a big bet on the over.
Drew's got all the money.
Drew, yeah, he's got there big, man. You know, he says he works in the oil fields. The oil is what? Oh, it's on its way to $150 a barrel. Soon we're going to have Drew finance the show and be sponsored by Drew. The New York Giants, Miami Dolphins. Sean, the Miami Dolphins defense put on a show last week like they did last year, where they were one of the top scoring defenses, most opportunistic in terms of turnovers. They're playing against Mr. Turnover himself, Daniel Jones, Mr. I used to be good, Saquon Barkley. What do you think about that?
So Daniel Jones is actually out.
No, he's out.
So what's better than Daniel Jones?
He might be out.
I'm pretty sure they said he was out. I will look that up again. Okay. What's better than Daniel Jones? Mike Glennon for Miami's defense. Yes. I'm going Miami.
Mike Glennon.
This is why the line earlier it was at -4.5. Now it's up to 6.5. So I'm going to give up 6.5.
Mike Glennon be the Nick Foles? I mean, take the Giants to the Super Bowl?
Well, no. So I really like Miami's going the other way. I mean, they put things together again. Tua's doing what Tua can do. I mean, it's not never going to be a superstar.
Tua to have a nice game against the Giants, no?
Yeah,
he's just a dump down guy. You know, high completion rates, low yardage attempt type guy.
Yeah, it does say he is out, so it is Mike Glennon, and that was the line movement. So I will take that.
It opened up at +3, now it's +6. So a Daniel Jones is worth 3 points, Sean. What do you think about that?
I don't think he's worth 3 points, but when your backup is Mike Glennon, then you are worth 3 points, I guess. I can't believe those are your two.
Daniel Jones can get a T-shirt now that says "I am worth 3 points." You know, my daughter and I, we joked. I don't know if I should go here, but anyway. In some cultures, they have dowries. You know what that is?
No.
That's when they sell their daughters to another, to be married to somebody, right? To another family. So a dowry is what the fee is to pay. So we looked it up and to see how many goats my daughter was worth. She and I were joking. She's worth like 330,000 goats or something like that. That's a lot of goats, or 33,000 goats. I mean, that's a ton of goats. But anyway, Daniel Jones can get a T-shirt that says "I'm worth 3 points."
As long as Mike Glennon is my backup.
Mm-hmm. All right. So anyway, enough about goats and Daniel Jones T-shirts. The total in that game, Sean, is 39.5. That is absolutely the lowest total on the board. Unquestionably, and 39.5 seems like to be a low number for an NFL game, but it seems like the lower they go, the lower the more likely they are to go under this year.
Yeah, and Giants defense has played really good this year, and the offense hasn't. Miami's more of an opportunistic team, so I could see it, but it's a very low total, so I'm not going to play it.
Yeah, I have it at 40, so it is essentially a stupid soccer tie for me. Let's see how the other smarter people played it, Sean. Well, only 25% of the people bet the New York Giants. So that's all of New York City. Everybody else on the planet put their money on the Dolphins at 94 cents on the dollar. As far as the game itself is concerned, most people think 39.5 is numbers too low for an NFL game. And they put their money where their mouth is because 57% of the tickets and 3/4 of the money is on the game going over 39.5. Washington and Las Vegas, two teams coming off of impressive wins, Sean. One can put back-to-back impressive wins together. The other will not. Which one will and which one will not be impressive in back-to-back weeks?
So I'm going to go Washington here and do it money line. Raiders, Darren Waller is doubtful. That's a problem for their offense. He's the biggest key. He opens everything else up. And then you also got Josh Jacobs and Deshaun Jackson questionable. So
Deshaun Jackson questionable. So what? He's always
I know, but
the way he plays the game is questionable.
yeah, but they did hit a couple deep passes with him. And again, if you have that deep guy who can run down the field, he opens up a little bit, whether he's catching the ball or not. So I will take Washington while they're the underdog and the plus value here. I think they're putting it together a lot better than the Raiders are putting it together. And with Waller out, that's a problem for the Raiders.
So the money line, you get plus 110, Sean. That's the best I can get for you. And you're not going to get much more than that for only 1.5. So that's actually, I think, not a bad number for you whatsoever at all. So I would actually be kind of pleased with that if I were you. As far as I'm concerned on that game, Sean, I have the Washington football team covering by a fraction of a point, and actually at 1.5. I have them covering by a full point. So they should win this game they should tie. That's what that says. And somehow they will tie they'll break the tie. There'll be some tiebreaker that they win by. I can't bet that. As far as the total is concerned, Sean, they have them at 49.5. Is another one of the highest scoring games on the board. I think both teams are likely to score. What do you think?
I'd actually lean the under. I just feel like these offenses aren't consistent enough for that high of a total to be in the 50s, especially, again, if the Raiders have some of their weapons out. So I would lean the under, but I'm not going to double dip.
Yeah, I think the game's going to go over. I have them coming in at 52 points, with the Raiders actually winning in terms of when I do point projections, not the way I do the against the spread thing, but point projection, I have the Raiders winning this game by 4. Not enough for me to go ahead and make a play whatsoever there. And then if we take a look at how the people who are smarter than you and I do it, you have 2/3 of the tickets are on the Raiders, but over 80 cents on the dollar is on the football team. So that's where the smart money's going. As far as the over-under is concerned, the tickets are split about 50-50, a little bit more money on the over than on the under. So there's no real conviction in that spot. Jacksonville Jaguars against the LA Rams. Do you think maybe they sit Stafford, let him get a little bit healthy because they feel like they can win this game with whoever their backup is?
Possibly, but they probably don't because they need Stafford to get going too. He has struggled the last few weeks, so I'm
13 points, Sean, 2 touchdowns. Jacksonville is walking in the door ahead by 2.
Yeah, the Rams might win that, and they might win by the total, but I'm going to stay away from it. It's just too many points.
Yeah, I agree with you. In an NFL game, 2 touchdowns is way too many.
Especially against a team that's not clicking all the way. Stafford's giving touchdowns to the other team every week.
And the reality is the Jaguars' defense is not all that bad. I mean, it's not great either, but it's not the worst part of their team, right?
No, but the offense is struggling too, and Robinson's questionable, which is a problem.
Well, then you have Carlos Hyde, and that guy's a star. 48 points is the over and the under, Sean. I think, that's tough to say because you don't know what the Rams' offense has been inconsistent, as you said, especially of late, and there hasn't been a whole lot of offense whatsoever at all out of Jacksonville all year long.
No, so I don't know where you would find too many points for Jacksonville here. And if they only score 2 touchdowns at 14, you need the Rams to get 34. So at that point, you might as well just do the Rams total, but do you really trust that? So I would lean the under, but I'm not going to bet it.
I have it as a stupid soccer tie, and I have the Rams and the Jaguars probably right on where Vegas has their 2 totals. I can't. I too many unknowns in that game, Sean, for sure. At 12.5 to 13.5 points, Sean, quarter of the tickets are on the Jaguars, but 90% of the money. Most people think the Rams roll, Sean. A little bit more than half of the tickets, but almost 80 cents on the dollar are both on the under. Baltimore and Pittsburgh. Woo! The battle of interception throwing quarterbacks. Ben Roethlisberger and Lamar Jackson. Who's going to throw more interceptions, Sean?
Oh, I would expect probably one from each.
Only one?
Yeah, only one. I honestly think Pittsburgh probably bounces back here, but I'm not going to make the same mistake. I'm going to pass on the game. I just can't trust either one of these teams. It's amazing. Jackson threw 4 interceptions last week, and you hear more about Roethlisberger struggling than you do Jackson because Jackson has those wow moments as well. But 4.5, I would lean Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I'm actually would lean Baltimore. I have them winning by 5. That line opened up at 4.5. It's still 4.5. You can get Pittsburgh if you like them, but plus 2.5, Sean, at 100. I don't know. Tough for me to go ahead and make that play. It's too tight for me. I would definitely, absolutely lean Baltimore by a little bit. I feel like they're the better team, maybe a little bit. The total in that game is 44, Sean. How do you see that?
I see this going back to more of a Baltimore-Pittsburgh type game where it's more defensive. I think 44 is too high. I'm going to take the under.
Going to go under.
They're going to have to play a little bit more conservative too, division game, and the way these quarterbacks were throwing interceptions last week. I think you're going to see more running and stuff like that. So I don't see too many points here.
And I think JT Watt, he will be back. I read he's going to pass the COVID test. How do they know he's going to pass it in advance? I don't know. Must have one of those home ones that told him via Joe Biden that told him he's going to pass the test. Anyway, Baltimore, I have them coming in at 45, 46 points. So a little bit over, Sean, but, essentially it's a little more than a soccer tie. But I am going to definitely lean the over, Sean, but I'm not going to take either one of them. And even though that over doesn't feel good to me, it feels kind of dirty and slimy even thinking that those two teams are going to go over. As far as the bets are concerned, more than 60% of the tickets are on the Ravens. 95 cents on the dollars. Think Lamar Jackson will be the better quarterback, lead his team to victory, and cover that 4.5 point number. As far as the total is concerned, Sean, yeah, most of the tickets are on the under, but a lot of the most of the money is on the over. So there's some agreement with me. Seattle and San Francisco. Woof. What happened to Russell Wilson? Did Russell Wilson just did he do what is it like that? Because remember, I don't know if you remember Sean Alexander out in Seattle.
Yep.
He was all of that, and then the next year he was bye-bye. Has Russell Wilson hit the Sean Alexander wall?
I guess. And the other issue is DK Metcalf one catch.
What happened to him?
Yeah, I don't understand how you have a guy like that, and they only threw it to him a couple times.
I don't want to start any rumors, Russ Wilson.
Yeah. I'm going to give up the 3.5 with San Fran here. I don't see Seattle bouncing back. They week in and week out, they're the same.
Guts.
They're the same team. San Fran's looked good. Jimmy Garoppolo's doing what he has to do. He's, and then with Kittle's made the difference.
Kittle had one catch last week.
He did, but again.
Terrible.
He opens up. He put guys on the field. I mean, they did part.
And Deebo Samuel's likely not to play. That's
a killer. Yeah,
that's his top target. Yeah. So I mean, you think Brandon Ayuk can handle that load?
Yeah, they have a few other guys. Plus, Seattle's not going to score many points the way their offense is playing.
No, but they're due to get at least 3 passes to DK Metcalf.
you would think.
Uh-huh. So I have Seattle covering by 0.5 point, so I can't play that game. As far as the total is concerned, Sean, it's 46 points, which seeing how that Seahawks offense has been of late, that seems to be like a number that's almost unachievable because that Seahawks offense can't score.
Yeah, so and division game, and like you said, San Fran's missing Samuel. So yeah, this is probably a good under, but I'm not going to double dip. I'll take San Fran, but if I were, I would take the under.
That's when this game I have them going under by about 3 points. So, again, not a wide enough margin for me to go ahead and make that number. As far as the bets are concerned, Sean, 3/4 of the tickets on the visiting 49ers, but 7 cents on the dollar on the 49ers as well. The total is concerned, Sean. People are expecting points in this game. 50-50 split on the tickets. 94 cents on the dollar going towards the over.
Wow.
Sunday night game, Sean, Denver versus a well-rested Kansas City team that's ready to finally do a Sean statement game. Can they make a statement in that Monday night game?
A Sunday night game? No, I don't.
Sunday night.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, I don't think you can assume after one game that Kansas City found it all back.
So are you going to get back on the Teddy Bridgewater bandwagon?
Unfortunately, it's not the Teddy Bridgewater. I just don't feel like Kansas City is going to get it all right back right like that. And 9.5 points on a Sunday night is too many points. So I'm going to take Denver getting a 9.5.
Means we're going to agree twice tonight, Sean?
Uh-oh.
Yes. I am with you. Actually, this is one of the – and this in a way scares me. And I'll tell you why it scares me, Sean. Not because we both picked it, but that scares me enough in itself in its own. But of all the lines so far this year, according to the system that is put together by the gentleman at the Las Vegas Sands that's written online, this is the biggest – this is the most wrong line of the year, if you can believe that.
Wow.
The only other one that was close to this was when Denver was playing the Cowboys. And you remember I told you that was way, way too many points for the Cowboys, and Denver won that game outright. That was the second closest one, but this is the most offline on the year. I'm with you. I'm going to take the Broncos, and by putting that this is the most offline of the year out there, Kansas City will win like 35-7.
So what should the line be? Kansas City by 3 or 4?
Kansas City by 3 is about the right number.
Well,
So,
I would just.
I don't know something we don't know. I don't know, Sean, but that number is way off.
Yeah, I was seeing that Melvin Gordon's doubtful to play.
Yes,
but yeah, pretty much. I mean, he's more of the goal line back.
The other kid, Javonte, will be more explosive anyway.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Gordon's more of the goal line back at this point anyway. I don't think Kansas City's offense has fully found it. They definitely found something again, but I don't think they're going to get back to that explosive team yet.
And let's say you give Kansas City, you adjust because they're coming off a bye. And I know Andy Reid doesn't lose off a bye. That's probably why that number's so high.
Yeah.
But even if you give them an extra 3 points for the bye, it still should be aligned by 6 or 7, not 9.5. I got a feeling this is going to be one of those games, Sean, where we're going to be down at some point through the night. And then we're going to be hoping for the Denver team to score a late field goal to cover.
Well,
and that's going to be the way we cover.
And let's face it, too. How many Sunday night and Monday night games are complete blowouts, too? Usually not, even when the lines are like this. So usually it's better to have the underdog. And more money will get thrown on Kansas City probably as game time comes because people are going to want that action. And they're more prone to take the favorite. So you may even get Denver at double digits at some point.
Yes, maybe you hang out to Sunday to get that line. 47 is the total, Sean. I don't double dip, which is against my NFL rules. I have the game going under. The total's 47. I have them coming in at 43, Sean. So that even at 43, that tells me that with the lower total than what's expected, that really gives us a shot. I think a better shot with Denver.
Yeah, and I would agree with you. I would lean the under, but I'm not going to play it.
All right. Well, that wraps up the Sunday action of the NFL calendar, unless I missed a game, which I'm prone to do from time to time, Sean. I didn't miss one in there?
Nope.
Drew, I think you're right. Taylor is going to have the game of his life, and his name is going to be Jonathan Taylor, not Tyrod Taylor. All right. Quickly recap, Sean, what your picks were.
So I have 8 plays. You have 5 plays. So,
man,
this is probably the most plays I've had in a week. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I am taking Minnesota giving up 7.5. The Colts giving up 10. Cincinnati giving up 3. Miami giving up 6. Washington to beat Oakland. Baltimore, Pittsburgh under 44. San Fran giving up 3.5. And then the Sunday night game, Denver getting 9.5.
For me, I'm taking the Cardinals laying 7.5 against the Bears. I feel like if Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hopkins come back, that number will go up. I agree with Sean. I'm taking the Colts on the road, betting against the double-digit home dog in the NFL. Ooh, that's brilliance right there. And then I'm going to go on Sunday night as far as against the number is concerned. I'm going to take the Broncos, like I said to Sean. That number is the most displaced number that I've seen all year long. So either they know something and we don't, but that's very possible. I'm also going to take the Indiana Colts to score more than, what was their number, Sean?
27.5.
27.5. And I also have the over in the Cincinnati and Los Angeles Chargers game. That's it for me, right?
Yep.
Well, hopefully the way things have gone for me lately, Sean, I can get back on track in the NFL because college basketball, all my teams have the lead, sometimes 15-point leads in the second half, and then they just I have a basketball game a couple nights ago where the Houston playing Oklahoma City. I can't have them score 65 points in the fourth quarter. As long as the two teams they hadn't combined for anywhere near 65 points in a quarter, and they score 70. The game goes over. Like, okay, you know what? The universe is against me. I'm going to go to the third floor. I'm going to jump.
Yeah, I just had Houston too, giving up 2.5 tonight, and they were up like 8 points in the fourth quarter. And they ended up winning with 1 second left. They win by 2, and I was giving up 2.5.
God, I hate the hook.
You almost go like when Eric Gordon's taking a shot. Do I want him to make it and win this game? Because now
actually, when I'm like, screw it. I hope they lose.
Yeah, almost.
I'm
you're mad at
that point.
Yeah, right? That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Yeah, screw you. I hope you lose. Hope you throw a brick up, and then your mom laughs at you on Twitter. All right, Sean. Any final thoughts before we get up out of here and we start to rejoice in Week 13 of the NFL?
No, just look for at least mine. I'm sure you'll have some college basketball or college football picks tomorrow.
I don't know. On money. I'm kind of scared.
Or NBA.
Maybe.
We know we won't have hockey. We're just
maybe I should go back to hockey the way things are going. Everything is upside down, so I think I'm going to go back. I'm going to do that. I'm going to put nothing but hockey plays on tomorrow.
Drew, don't play hockey. That's your reminder there. Go over to moneylinemadmen.com and register for free. It takes less than a minute. Completely free. We won't bug you. Just post what you like as well.
The hell out of you eventually. No, just kidding. And then, Moneyline Madmen also at Facebook and Twitter, right? So you can follow us there. Tell your friends about us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, telephone, however it is you communicate. We certainly would appreciate it. Help us get to our own vanity URL here on YouTube by subscribing. We would appreciate that. As always, we hope all of your tickets are winners. And if you like horse racing, tomorrow Terry and I will be over at Horse Racing Radar TV discussing every race over there at Aqueduct Racecourse in New York. Hopefully we have some winners there. Maybe we'll pick a couple long shots to build up our bankroll for Sunday NFL plays. 8 for Sean, 5 for me. Until then, have a fantastic Saturday and Sunday. May you stuff your pockets full of cash. We'll see you on Monday at a little bit earlier, right?
Yeah, we're going to do about an hour earlier, so it'll be like 4:35 p.m. Eastern.
Fantastic. We'll see you Monday, 4:35 p.m. Until then, may every single one of your tickets, unless you bet against me, be winners.